To what you put in your grocery cart, it's confusing as ever. We're always hearing eat this, not that, and then, well, it changes again.
Yeah, you wait 5 minutes and it reverses. The director of the Cleveland Clinic for Functional Medicine just released a new book on how to take back our health by starting with our food. We talked to Dr. Mark Hyman about his new book, What the Heck Should I Eat?
All right, doctor, I guess the title of your book says it all. What the heck should I eat?
It's true. We are all so confused. We have nutrition whiplash. One day eggs are bad, then they're good. One day coconut oil's good, then it's bad. Meat, same thing. Pretty much everything we hear is making us just want to say, what the heck? I don't know what to eat. And I think that's why I wrote this book, to give a clear roadmap that's based on common sense and science, that puts together my 40 years of research in nutrition and seeing patients using food as medicine for 30 years, to give people a clear roadmap of what to do and break through all the nonsense.
Thank goodness, finally someone who has the answers. Let's go through some popular food misconceptions, and you tell us what the real deal is. Let's start, since we're in the dairy state, with milk.
Oh, yes.
Which
I hope you don't get... I'm going to get shut down in the middle of this.
But you hear skim milk is better than whole-fat milk, and then sometimes you hear the opposite.
Yes. So here's the deal. First, you're talking about skim milk, which is taking the fat out. Fat turns out not to be the bad thing about milk. In fact, fat is necessary for us, and we now know that it's sugar and starch that are causing weight gain, not fat, despite the fact that we've heard this for decades. In fact, kids who drink skim milk in studies actually gain more weight because they're not getting the fat that cuts their hunger and makes them feel satisfied. On top of that, we're told by our government to drink 3 glasses of milk a day for adults, 2 for kids. There's no evidence to support that. In fact, the recent Dietary Guidelines Committee was held to task for having industry influence that actually led them to make these recommendations that are not science-based, and the National Academy of Sciences said we need to redo these. So major reviews of the literature show that there's really no evidence that milk is necessary for strong bones or for kids to grow or is necessary for all the things that we say it is. In fact, it may be harmful. It may cause fractures. It may cause weight gain. It may cause digestive issues, allergies, may even cause autoimmune disease. So we really have to be smart about eating the right dairy, which is typically grass-fed, and even shifting over to sheep and goat, which has different forms of protein in it that are not as inflammatory as regular dairy.
All right, well, we'll let that sink in.
They're probably not going to let me into Wisconsin. They're not going to let me into Wisconsin after this. I know that. I'll be stopped at the border.
Here's another misconception. Oatmeal is not healthy. Is that a thing?
We know that breakfast in America is basically sugar and starch, right? Which is donuts, muffins, bagels. We have these super high sugar coffees we drink. We French toast, pancakes. I mean, we are eating dessert for breakfast. And oatmeal is a better version of that for sure. But in studies it shows calorie for calorie compared to an omelet makes you hungrier, raises your blood sugar, causes more insulin issues, it creates a stress response in the body. So it'll actually stimulate your appetite and slow your metabolism. So unless it's oat bran, which is good for your cholesterol, that's different than oatmeal. Now, steel cut oats are a little bit better, but not much. So I would stick with protein and fat for breakfast.
All right, very good. What about saturated fat and butter? Does it cause heart disease?
Yes, we were all taught that. We learned that. The evidence for it was pretty weak. And over the last decades, we've had a whole slew of new evidence that shown us it's not really an issue. That 17 large reviews of all the science have found no link between saturated fat and heart disease. And yet it's still in our guidelines. And the problem is it's a little bit because they ignored huge amounts of data in the Dietary Guidelines Committee, and that's being changed. But there is no evidence. In fact, butter, in the study on butter, they looked at 6.5 million years of 600,000 people consuming butter, which is a lot of people consuming a lot of butter for a long time. And they found no link between heart disease and saturated fat, and butter specifically. In fact, they found an inverse relationship with type 2 diabetes, meaning the more butter you ate, the less diabetes you had. The key here is eat real food. You know, none of these foods here on the table have a label. They don't have an ingredient list. They don't have a nutrition fact statement. It's just food. It's an avocado. It's fish. It's a papaya. It's basically an egg. It's just food. There's no ingredient list on these. And I make a simple principle. I talk to churches and I say it's really simple. You know, ask yourself the question, did God make this or did man make this? Did God make a Twinkie? No. Did he make an avocado? Yes. Pretty simple. Even a kindergarten kid could understand that.
Yes,
that's a great way to think about it.
Absolutely. All right, the book, Food, What the Heck Should I Eat, is now on sale. Mark, thanks for being with us today.
Of course. Thank you so much.
That was very interesting. Some of Dr. Hyman's other observations are that most of your plate should be fruits and plants, vegetables, but he says meat is also good for you, and chicken, by the way, is not necessarily healthier than red meat.
Yeah, it's very lean red meats now.
Yeah.
And fresh fruit, vegetables not always healthier than frozen.
Yeah, the fresh ones. The frozen ones are as equally as good for you.
Well, yeah, they're processed at the peak of their goodness. So.
And he said coffee is okay.
Yeah, chocolate. We
were kind of running out of time. We had so many questions for him.
But then again, you know, tune in again tomorrow and it'll all be different again.
Yeah, but I love that idea of if it's a real thing, you can eat it.
Yeah,
if
there's no nutrition label on it, go for it.
You can go for it, right.